All right, y'all. Fixing to load up. Go take a test, which I am not looking forward to because I do not test well. I tend to get sour belly and heart palpitations and all sorts of good stuff whenever I'm having to do a test. But this one is kind of important. A couple weeks ago, I ended up with a drone since they come down in price, and I figured, well, it'd be kind of neat to add to my repertoire. And a buddy of mine said, look, I know you have pictures in magazines occasionally, and I know you do stuff with Jackson occasionally. He said, I want to warn you, if you do not have your 107, the FAA will jack you up. And I mean, to the tune of thousands and thousands of dollars. So I'm like, well, that don't sound good. I didn't know what a 107 license was. But basically it's if you make a penny off of the drone. If I sell a picture to a magazine, or if if Jackson needs to use it and I get something out of it, then anything that you do, if you run a business or whatever, and somebody pays you for something that you've done with a drone, you better have this 107. And especially after the COVID, where everybody's working from home, what it seems like is a whole bunch of FAA inspectors are sitting at the house watching YouTube videos. And although my YouTube does not make money, period, I mean, I've been on it for a pile of years, and 4,000 some odd folks are keyed up with my channel. It still doesn't make a dime. But the fact that it could make a dime, or if something ever happened and it went a viral and something was coming along, well, I mean, if you make a penny off of it, you got to have this 107 license. So I signed up, after finding out about it. I'm like, well, crud, what do I study? I started researching, and I have been studying. I mean, the only test I've ever taken that was this hard was the one for my job, which I took 20 years ago. And that was a bodacious test, 8 hours. But this one is a bodacious test. I mean, I think the stuff I study, by the time I get done with it, I could land a 747 out in the middle of the highway, because I mean, it's that detailed. But you're learning a lot of stuff, and some of it is fun. I mean, like the latitude longitude, I had no idea how to navigate with latitude longitude. I know now. And some of the METAR stuff with the weather, I've actually enjoyed, translating that sort of stuff out. But the sectionals are definitely something that's going to twist me up, and I don't know how this is going to go. So I signed up for drone launch, the study course, and that was a little bit of money, but I signed up for it because I thought, for me, structure is better to have it where I could see the different chapters that I wanted to go over. They have flip charts or cards that I can, flashcards. So I went through the flashcards over and over and over again. I took every practice test that I could find, other than the ones I had to pay for, because I was already paying for the Drone Launch Academy. But I took every practice test I could find. The FAA actually has study guides and their own practice tests, and then I took the 107 Part 61, this test, and passed it. I took the trust and passed it. So I've done a lot of stuff, a lot of preparation, and my hopes is that the preparation was enough. If you go to the FAA site, it shows you how you have to start. And you have to start out with a profile in the IACRA, IACRA, however you want to say it, but you have to start out with a profile there. Then you transition over to a site called PSI, and there is where you'll actually schedule your test and pay for your test. Now, it's $175 for me to go take this test. If I fail it, I'm out, and I've got to go back and pay $175 again. So please, a little prayer. I don't want to do this more than once. We'll see. I'm on the way now, and I'll update as I get done. But I have prepared hard, and I'm hoping. I've got reading glasses. I've got magnifying glass for looking at the charts. You can't carry anything else in there, so I'll give you an update. Y'all stay tuned. I am as whipped as a feller can get. I mean, my brain is mush. I'm gonna sit here a spell. That's the War Eagle Testing Center right over there. I'm gonna sit here a spell and just collect myself, and then I'm going to drive to the closest place, probably get me a sweet tea. But I passed. And the little lady, it was the proctor of the test, she says, you did pretty good. She says, I just failed 7 in a row. So I'm like, oh no. Because the scary part is this is $175 to take. And if you fail it, they keep. And you got to come back and pay another $175. So thank you, Lord. But I passed. I actually have my little temporary little deal. I'll get my card soon. I will tell you that the test was nothing like I was anticipating. My best advice to you would be to take every possible practice test that you can. There was the METARs, which I was having fun taking them apart, dissecting them. And the TAFs are the hardest ones to me, because the TAFs are the forecasts and there's a bunch of stuff going on in them. That's what I had, was more TAFs than anything else. Sectionals, there were sectionals on there, but honestly, there were questions that I haven't seen in anything. And it was about fixed wing aircraft, a bunch of stuff about fixed wing aircraft. And I was going to bookmark stuff that I wasn't sure about, but honestly, it's like, I don't know if I know it or not. So I just would go through and determine which ones I knew that was not a chance. I knew that one wasn't right. I knew that one wasn't right. So it had to be one of these two. Let's kind of deduce this and go with it. But, and I mean, I studied, y'all. I studied probably, I mean, it's a good thing. And what I did was went in and it scared me to death, because I took a couple sets of practice tests early on. One of them I passed and was like, oh, this is nothing. And then the next one I failed, and it was like, oh my gosh. And that was a practice test. But what I figured out was, through taking all those, that, you know, some people have wonderful sites. There's a lot of good information out there that's 5 years old. That test has changed. Multiple iterations of tests have come out since then. A lot of stuff came up in 21, classifications of drones and flying over people, some different things on that. So there was stuff that, a lot of the courses, which were really good, and like I said, I paid for a course. It helped me out a little. Probably more so just in getting my mind right and working through a bunch of stuff and learning, because I did not want to train to pass the test. I wanted to know how to do this right. I don't want to hurt folks. I want to stay legal. I didn't want to stay. I could have had a test with answers on it and just learn that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do this right, and that's why I tried so hard and studied hard. And I'm old. My brain doesn't like to learn new tricks, because I am an old dog. But I made it. So can you. Do your due diligence, do your research, and there's tons of it out there. I'm not smart enough to link everybody's stuff, but all you got to do is type in Part 107 and do like I did. Just figure out what's out there, weigh the information, what you can get, and move on from there. But anyway, I am a pilot. I am an RPIC, Remote Pilot in Charge. Wow. Hope this helps. Y'all take care.